Hi, everyone, and welcome to Constituting America's Constitutional Chats. I'm Kathy Gillespie, and we're so glad to have you with us. We want to wish you a early, happy semi-quin centennial, because as we all know, at the end of this week, we're going to be celebrating the 250th birthday of our country. So, in honor of that, we are so excited to have today's episode feature our Pursuit cast. The title of today's episode is America 250, the Pursuit Finale, Voices of Independence. And Janine, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell our audience a little bit more about today's show.
Thank you, Kathy. I am the founder of Constituting America and the creative director. And Kathy, of course, is our CEO. We are so excited today to have our cast with us of our homage to America 250, which is the Pursuit. It's been our series, our vertical series. We had 17 episodes, and the compilation of all those episodes is going to air 21 minutes. All the other ones have been 90 seconds. Is going to air on Thursday, and we have this fabulous cast to interview today, to talk to them about their minutes and their experiences and their loves of America. But we are also going to recite for you today and for all of your family. We're recording this, so if you want to see it later, we'll have it up on social media, I'm sure. The Declaration of Independence in its entirety. So that's coming right up as soon as Kathy. Let me give you the names of our fabulous cast members. Carter Nelms is with us today. He portrayed Patrick Henry. Richard Means is with us today. He portrayed Thomas Jefferson. They're all brilliant, by the way. Buddy and CJ. Buddy plays Benjamin Franklin, and CJ plays James, our time traveler. They're gonna they're gonna be working on episode. I don't. Yeah, we're gonna be interviewing them on episode 4. Okay. Will Dobson plays our George Washington. J.D. Leach, Thomas Paine. Alexis Schreppel, Abigail Adams. We have some fun things coming up about that too. Lee Pena, Pastor Mullenberg. Blake Nolan, Alexander Hamilton. Cessa Rodriguez, Molly Pitcher. Ian Wilson, Marquis de Lafayette, and Jessica Packard, Deborah Sampson. So these are our fabulous actors who play these great founding fathers and founding mothers, and that we are all going to be reading the Declaration of Independence for you. All right, I'm tossing it back to you, Kathy, to thank our sponsor.
Well, thank you, Janine. And our sponsor for today, our dear Western States Director, Jill Cullis, is sponsoring today's chat in memory of her beloved parents, Midge and Harry Cullis. Jill's parents were both incredible patriots. They taught her how to love and honor this great nation of ours, and they taught her not just about our rights, but our responsibility of how to keep our republic. And Jill, they'd be honored to know the amazing work that you do with Constituting America to teach this nation our history and our founding documents. So thank you, Jill, for sponsoring today's very special episode of Constitutional Chats in memory of your parents. They obviously taught you well, as you're one of the most outstanding and dedicated patriots we all know. And it is a blessing to have you on our Constituting America team and as a member of our Constituting America family. Janine, back to you.
Here, here is what I'll say about Jill. Echo, echo, echo. We love you, Jill. All right, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. If we had our editor here, we'd have fife and drums. Jay, our fabulous editor. All right, here we go, everybody. The Declaration of Independence, 250 years ago, this July 4th. In Congress, July 4th, 1776. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impels them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent of laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good.
He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only.
He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depositories of their public record for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasion on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions from within.
He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us.
By a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of a trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies.
For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people.
He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with the circumstances of cruelty and perfidy, scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous age, and totally unworthy of the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands.
He has excited domestic insurrections amongst us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince, whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant, is unfit to be the ruler of a free people.
Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of our attempts by their legislator to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation, and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, and General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these United States colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and declaration and things which independent states may of right do, and for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
From Delaware, George Reed, Caesar Rodney, and Thomas McKean.
From Pennsylvania, George Clymer, Benjamin Franklin, Robert Morris, John Morton, and Benjamin Rush.
From Pennsylvania, George Ross, James Smith, James Wilson, George Taylor.
From Massachusetts, John Adams, Samuel Adams, John Hancock, Robert Treat Paine, Elbridge Gerry.
From New Hampshire, Josiah Bartlett, William Whipple, Matthew Thornton.
From Rhode Island, Stephen Hopkins, William Ellery, and from New York, Lewis Morris and Philip Livingston.
Also from New York, Francis Lewis, William Floyd, and from Georgia, Button Gwinnett, Lyman Hall, and George Walton.
From Virginia, Richard Henry Lee, Francis Lightfoot Lee, Carter Braxton, and Benjamin Harrison.
Also from Virginia, Thomas Jefferson, George Wythe, and Thomas Nelson Jr.
From North Carolina, William Hooper, John Penn, and Joseph Hughes. From South Carolina, Edward Rutledge, Arthur Middleton, Thomas Lynch Jr., and Thomas Hayward Jr.
From New Jersey, Abraham Clark, John Hart, Francis Hopkinson, Richard Stockton, and John Witherspoon.
From Connecticut, Samuel Huntington, Roger Sherman, William Williams, and Oliver Wolcott.
From Maryland, Charles Carroll, Samuel Chase, Thomas Stone, and William Paca. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our Declaration of Independence. On July 4th, this Saturday, it would be 250 years ago that they put forth this amazing document, which was incredibly brave. And we can't forget how they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors. And just because we won doesn't mean that many of them didn't lose their lives, their fortune, and their sacred honor. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for this amazing cast. You did it brilliantly, everybody. Okay, so now we are going to interview our fabulous cast of The Pursuit. I'm gonna get my back here on gallery. There we go. And if you haven't seen The Pursuit, it is available on social media anywhere. Constituting America at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Janine Turner, it's on all of mine. It's also on our YouTube. It's at Constituting America's YouTube. And I'm sure all the cast has been posting at least theirs, I know for sure, or all of them say in a comment. But Constituting America and Janine Turner, Constituting America's YouTube and all of our social medias. And then once again, they've been 90 seconds long. We've had to pack in a history lesson in 90 seconds, but with this fabulous cast, they brought it to life in such a beautiful manner. And the cast, the crew, everything down to costumes, hair, and makeup, our editor, Jay, it's been an amazing, amazing process. And now we are going to interview, or I am, and all of us can pitch in, our cast members in order of appearance. We're going to play their minute. I hope it works for you. Different web browsers and different internet speeds bring about different results. But if it's not clear for you, again, you can go see it on all of your social medias, Constituting America or Janine Turner. All right, Carter. Where's Carter? There he is. Carter. Carter Nelms was our Patrick Henry, and he is an engineer turned actor who seeks projects with purpose. His credits, both past and upcoming, include Vindication, Search and Rescue, The Servant, and Young Warriors. So, Carter, welcome. I'm going to put you on speaker now so I can see your face full screen. I'm going to go back to speaker. There you are. So you are in Tennessee, aren't you?
I am. Yep, I'm over in Tennessee.
But everybody traveled to Texas in an ice storm. We were in the middle of an ice storm.
Yes, which was a huge adventure.
It really was. You had a lot of sitting around to do, I believe, while we waited. So what was your favorite part about being a part of The Pursuit?
I had a lot of fun with the period of it from the acting standpoint. It's fun to jump into another time. Having everybody in their wardrobe and their costumes and the hair and the set and everything had a certain evolution that you don't always find on set. And so just stepping into the world was my favorite part of it.
We should have read the Declaration of Independence when everybody was in costume.
Oh, we should have.
That would have been great. Well, we're going to do part 2 and part 3. We're going to do the Articles of Confederation. We're going to do the United States Constitution. So this is just our first season of The Pursuit. And next time we'll make sure we record all these things in uniform. What do you think, Carter? Has it impacted this project? Has it impacted your career at all?
I think so. I post each one of the episodes that comes out. I'll put it out there, and so in my day-to-day life, I'll have people that ask me about it, or that I might not even know. You can see who has watched certain stories and things like that, and it's not uncommon to have somebody bring it up that you didn't even realize it had reached, that you wouldn't even have thought would have been seeing it. So I have started to see the influence of it out there already.
Well, that's the power of social media, isn't it?
Big time.
The kind of viral aspect. And by the way, we've had millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views. So it's gone viral, we like to say. What about your family and friends?
Oh, they really loved it. It was fun to even going into it, getting to tell them a little bit about it, it was exciting up front. And then, of course, there's all kinds of cool shots and clips and BTS to share, even during the process, let alone after as well. So that's been a whole lot of fun.
That's true. All of you did a behind the scenes, and then I talked about why I cast all of you, and then we have a
Yeah.
why Patrick Henry. We've done quite a bit of social media promotion as well, and you've done and you were our first. You were the first one to walk in the door.
Oh, yeah.
And editing's been quite something because the camera angle didn't work, or the camera angle, camera was in the shot, or sound didn't work. It's something else to try to piece it all together. The editor and I. What behind the scenes moment meant something to you? Is there a special moment you had behind the scenes?
Let's see. I think of some kind of funny story or something. I had a lot of fun with the William Franklin character because we were all supposed to on this guy. We didn't like this guy, and it just almost got to be a running joke. And you didn't want to be too ostracizing of actors, obviously, but it just that part was a whole lot of fun. We got to get a little silly with that, and so even behind the scene, just chuckling at his facial expressions was a whole lot of fun.
Yes, yes, and Meryl Streep, I supposedly said that to on the what is it with the movie about the fashion, whatever it's called. Somebody told me.
Devil Wears Prada.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. She goes, "Oh, this is the first and last day I'll be nice to you."
Yep.
Because they were enemies, the girls, Anne Hathaway and all of them. Well, that's really fantastic. And we tell the story in chronological order somewhat. And so you were the first, Patrick Henry was one of the first to come in and say, give me liberty or give me death. And I will just say before we move on, you had to deliver the line, give me liberty or give me death 1,000,000 times.
Yes. And there's no right way to say it either. You got to jump in and just plug in and figure it out and try things.
That's hard to do, to say the same line and you did it though. You did it with such aplomb, and you did every time you said it in a way that was fitting of that particular episode or founding father, and you always had different intonations, and you came from a gut place. So bravo to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Everybody with whom we're speaking today they've already had great careers, but they're going to be huge stars. They're just incredibly talented. So thank you, Carter. Now, Brian Brigham can't be with us today because he's in the Philippines, and he played a fantastic John Adams. So the second founding father to come in was John Adams, who says, "I want to do this thing. We need to declare independence." So we're sorry we can't speak with him today, but we do have good behind the scenes videos with him. Now we are going to be talking to the third person to enter our room, because we're saying, well, you want to write a Declaration of Independence. Who should write it? And in walks Thomas Jefferson. So our next guest is Richard Means, who brilliantly as well played our Thomas Jefferson. He was born and raised in Texas, and he's looking to bring history to life through stories of those who lived it, which is pretty much perfect for this. Richard, where are you?
I'm right here. How you doing,
There
Janine?
you are, everybody. The next Robert Redford, right here. So you had quite the career. You've lived out in Hollywood, and you're back home in Texas now. But we have this story we've talked about before, where you didn't originally audition for Thomas Jefferson, but then we asked you to go back, and you said, "Okay, I'm shopping, but I'll run home and do it really quickly." Yeah. You have a line that Jay, the editor, and I, who've just been for 3-4 hours a day editing these things. You walk in and you say to to John Adams, "What are you thinking about today?" Because John Adams is always thinking. That was a running gag. And he says the Declaration of Independence, and you said, "Oh, that again." And it's the way you said it. Let's watch it. I think we're all going to watch it. Let's watch it. Aren't we going to watch it? Oh, there we go.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of property.
Happiness. It should be happiness.
Marity, my usual. Mr. Adams, Patrick Henry.
Back up and get a wider shot.
Well, if you're so good at it, you should time travel.
Yeah, over 2 centuries. Took a while to get here.
Adams, what are you thinking about today?
About the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, that again.
It has to be done.
Give me liberty or give me death.
Independence now and independence forever. You have to write it. You're from Virginia. I'm from Boston.
But I'm going home to see my wife.
You wrote a summary view of the rights of British America. You said the British Parliament has
No right to govern our colonies.
that the king is
The subject, not the proprietor of the people. The colonies have a right to self-government, free trade, and to be taxed only by their own representative.
And that noble list for grievances.
So, you'll do it?
To be summoned by duty. Hurrah! Life, liberty, and the pursuit of property.
Happiness. It should be happiness. Again, Franklin. I did not think it was going to rain. Did you just discover electricity?
Okay, well, it's a live show, and I just realized we didn't play Patrick Henry's. So we'll go back and we'll play yours in just a second, Carter. Sorry, I got so excited to talk to you. We didn't play it. But Richard, that again. You had a great sense of diction. Talk about creating the voice for Thomas Jefferson.
Well, so when I looked it up, like it was kind of like a half British, half New Englander type, because he's from Virginia with like a little like Southern drawl added in there. But then again, none of us really know what he actually sounded like. So I actually went back and watched any productions that had Thomas Jefferson. Then I just kind of took a little bit from each of those and then just went with it. And I'm glad y'all liked it. But it really was a fun character to play. And then especially interacting with Brian, just how they were in real life, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, the chemistry was there offset too. And it was fun to just poke at each other the entire time. And it was a lot of fun.
It's funny how you kind of take on those characteristics when you're actually working as an actor with somebody like Carter was saying with William Franklin, who it was Benjamin Franklin's son, and he was a royalist, and kind of there was a big parting of family politics and love of life, and so they had that, and you had it with sort of in real life, poking fun with Brian Brigham, who played John Adams. That is fun because they were great friends, and then they weren't great friends, and then they were great friends again. And he
basically just unloaded this huge, hey, we need you to do this now, and there's no turning back. You're doing it. Like, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. And the little lesson in there was talking about what a great writer you had been with the summary of the British right. So that was our little lesson in there. What was your favorite part of the project?
Favorite part of the project for me, George Washington was like an idol of mine growing up. I remember in second grade or first grade, maybe it was like come to school dressed as like somebody who you aspire to be. And I dressed up as George Washington. So just being kind of like Carter said, just being in that period setting with everybody dressed up and then, seeing George Washington. And I was like, oh my God, I'm actually here. It was really great. So I would agree with Carter in the sense that just being back, in that time period, and everybody brought everybody's character to life perfectly. And it was like we were actually there. And it was, period pieces are just my favorite to do because you really get to see life from a different perspective.
Yes, so true. Is there family, friends, people that have watched it that have surprised you at all?
I don't know if there's been any surprises because my mom asked me every single week, when's the new episode coming out? When's the new episode coming out? I'm like, I don't know. I'll let you know as soon as I get it. But everybody's loved it. And I love the project too, because it actually brought me back to Texas because I was living in LA at the time. So it's also great to just be back home. But yeah, no, it was just an incredible project to be a part of. The cast, the crew, everybody was great. And, I look forward to seeing everybody again at some point.
I know. I want to have a reunion where we all watch it on a big screen somewhere. Won't that be fun? And have a party.
That'd be a lot of fun.
When we see the 21, 23, 22-minute version of it, whatever it ends up being. Well, that's awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for gracing us. And you were in it a lot, just like Patrick Henry and John Adams. You were one of the first to walk in the door. So you were there the entire time. And able to pitch in for different things. And we got to see your fabulous acting as Carter. So thank you, Richard Means, everybody. Okay, let's go back and play. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's go back and watch Carter's. I jumped the gun. Okay, this is Patrick Henry, who was first, who walked in the door.
Give me liberty or give me death.
Patrick Henry.
You made it. We made it.
The American Revolution?
The American Revolution. Here over 250 years in the past.
I feel a little woozy.
Mary, my usual.
Are the cameras and microphones, they're in your lapels?
Yes. Who are we filming first?
Well, it says here, Patrick Henry. Hurry, go film.
How are you changing the world today?
I'm preparing my speech for the legislature.
I'm all ears.
I'm working on a main battle cry. I'm thinking, give me liberty or give me death.
What's before that?
The main forward is, gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war has already begun. Our brethren are already in the fields. Why stand we here idle? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
You're here. We are in full rebellion against the crown. We should have done that stand back.
No, the colonies must unite. E pluribus unum.
Out of many, one. I like it.
By thunder, that Congress is incorrigible. We need a Declaration of Independence.
Okay, there we go, Carter. We got to see it. We got to see it. Patrick Henry. Next is John Adams, who's not with us today, and then Thomas Jefferson walks in. And once again, truly, truly amazing. And so Buddy Campbell portrayed our Benjamin Franklin, and we were going to do CJ with Benjamin because they're both. I love CJ's performance. So somebody text me a bio of CJ really quickly because I don't have it. But Buddy, you were portrayed Thomas Jefferson. I mean, Benjamin Franklin, and CJ Haynes is our millennial that travels back in time 250 years. So let's watch it. And while we'll do that, I'll read everybody's bios after that.
Again, Franklin. I did not think it was going to rain. Did you just discover electricity?
Well, you discovered that lightning was electricity.
And that was decades ago, by the way, 1752.
Time travel jet lag.
Yeah, over 250 years worth.
Mary. My usual.
Thank you, Postmaster General.
First, Postmaster General.
Our first.
What are we thinking about today, Adams?
Convincing Congress to declare independence.
Let reason hold the reins.
We will need a committee. You should be on it.
Energy and persistence conquer all things.
My fellow patriots, revolution is expensive.
Yes, we will need a king's ransom.
I have a king in mind.
Parlez-vous français?
Je parle français.
My dear friend, I do believe you should go to France and secure their loans and commitment.
After we get our declaration, my friend, I'll be on the first ballot.
But, gentlemen, we still have to win the war.
Yes, and who will be our army's general?
Well, I'm contemplating George. Washington.
Discipline is the soul of an army.
There we go. Okay, so I'm going to talk to Buddy Campbell first. Hello, Buddy, who played our Benjamin Franklin. Buddy is a proud American who is an actor and screenwriter from the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas. You traveled in for this in the ice storm as well, with a passion for history. Bravo, what an amazing Benjamin Franklin you were and you are. And I'm sure it's so much fun to sit here like you are, Buddy, and then to compare that with the hair and makeup situation that you had to endure to become Benjamin Franklin. I guess we can start with that question. What was that like?
Well, it was probably the best and worst experience of the whole week, outside of the ice storm that we had to deal with. Yeah, about 2.5 hours of makeup every day. So that was an experience, but we had wonderful makeup artists to talk to and got to know them, and can't give them enough credit for the look and everything like that. And And then coming in, that first scene coming in from outside, we still had storm conditions. And so the hair would be blowing all over the place outside, trying to come in, keep it down and all that. But it just makes for a great story now, even though it was kind of difficult at the time. But yeah, the hair, and everybody who has seen it, the first thing they say is, "You were the perfect George Washington with the look." And I have to credit the hair and makeup people for that.
George Washington or Benjamin
Or
Franklin?
Benjamin Franklin. Yeah.
Not to say you couldn't have been a perfect George Washington as well. Yeah, you had to have that skull cap put on and the wig, and you very, very patient to go through the entire ordeal. And you also played a terrific Benjamin Franklin, and you were in a lot of them. And we have that great scene coming up. Artists couldn't be with us today, so we're not going to be showing it, but with the father-son battle, because in Benjamin Franklin's real life, his son was not a revolutionary, and they had a very tragic separation that lasted, I guess, the rest of their lives. But what was your favorite aspect other than the hair and makeup? And what about your friends and family and everybody who's been watching? What has the reaction been?
Like I said, the first reaction is everybody just says I was the perfect Benjamin Franklin, and so that was always nice to hear, and great experience. I have to admit, first and foremost, just coming to set and just realize, and then seeing Maggie O'Connell come up to me to give me a hug and say, "Wow, this was one of my TV heroes growing up, and I get to work with her." And as some of you know, I'm referring to Janine herself here for playing Maggie O'Connell in Northern Exposure, one of the shows that I just adored back in the day. And so that experience of uh, meeting you and the rest of the cast was the best part of it.
Oh, thank you so much. And it was a joy. It's just a joy working with you as well. And I have had this fantasy since I was 8 years old. If our founding fathers were to come back today, what would they be most disappointed about? Which is a little bit in reverse. But in this one, we sent millennials back in time to film what's going on in this tavern. And that's why you see 2026 in her sort of computer world of receiving the feed back from time travel. Kind of fun. I mean, I think the whole idea of time travel is really fascinating. Well, in closing here, to play such an iconic figure as Benjamin Franklin, did you feel any vibes from Benjamin Franklin? Was it just, would you? Sorry.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, he's just such an icon in American history, and during that time period, and everybody sees him on the $100 bill today, and the expression "it's all about the Benjamins," has to come to, is directed towards Benjamin Franklin, and but I'd watched him be portrayed so many times in movies and TV shows and miniseries and so forth, and I got freshened up a little bit on his character when he was in the musical 1776, and got to see that portrayal of him. And so that was sort of the last minute inspiration, was to try to do Benjamin Franklin the justice that the actor did on that movie. And it was just a thrill to play Ben.
And you did it. You did it. And when you walked in with the kite, that, first of all, is the smallest kite I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, we're on a shoestring budget, and we had we lost a day with the ice. We had 4 days to shoot all of these. So I'm like, wow, that's a small kite. Well, we're just going to go with it. And you were supposed to be a little wet, but that became, it was freezing outside. So, but everybody gets the joke. So, buddy, thank you so much. You're just absolute, like all of you, big stars. Everyone's going to be more of a big star than they already are. And thanks for joining us, gracing us with your Benjamin Franklin. And that leads me to CJ Haynes, who played one of our millennials. Carson, who plays Abby, couldn't be with us today. But CJ, I'll tell you a little bit about CJ. He played James, one of the time travelers. And he was born and raised in Bradenton, Florida. He is renowned for his emotional depth and captivating stage performances. He received his training at the Manatee Performance Arts Center and the Manatee School of the Arts, launching his career with notable productions such as Children of Eden and Ragtime. That's on Broadway right now. I was supposed to go see it. I really wanted to see it. He started professionally acting in 2024. He's been a lead in a children's show. He's been in a variety of commercials and shows, and we are so excited that you're with us, CJ.
Yes,
Welcome. You
yes.
played James, and James, when you just saw that clip, he's like, "Did he just discover electricity?" That turned out to be one of the key lines that we used in all of our trailers and
Right.
everything. Great performance, CJ.
No, thank you. Thank you. It was so much fun getting to bring life to this character. And I guess a little fun fact for the viewers, it was actually supposed to be a high schooler. And so they changed it to millennials because I heard I did a good job in the audition process. So that
You
was pretty sweet.
did.
Yeah.
You did, and you not only did you audition well, you portrayed James very well, and it was kind of a hard thing to film because you're in every single one of them, but it's a snippet, and y'all had to do a lot of waiting while we filmed the meat of it, and then came back to film you. And in every single one of them, in each and individual minute, let's say you watched minute 6, but you'd missed minute 1, or you watched minute 2, but you did. We had to reestablish that you were time travelers, so y'all had a lot of the same lines, but then again, you didn't. So I think we tried to mix it up a little bit, but it was always like time traveling. And if you're so good at it, you come doing it.
Yeah.
Because 2026, who's back at home in the right year, correct year of 20, she was jealous that she wasn't there. But you got to create your own character, not a historical character, but your own.
Right.
So how did that feel?
It felt so much fun. I think one of my favorite things was honestly the attire. I was like, man, I wish I could take this home and utilize it for Halloween or something. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I also think too, just the whole period aspect. Everybody brought like a thespian side to their sort of portrayal, and I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed watching everybody just bring it. So it was
immersed in a historical character. It's very rich to delve into that. How was it? Carson's working today. She couldn't be with us. She plays Abby, your fellow traveling millennial, time traveling. How was it working with Carson?
Oh, she was so much fun. I think this was also her first project, if I'm not mistaken, that she did. And so it was a lot of fun. I think the last day when we had a lot of one-on-one with you, and so you were done sort of acting and doing more directing, it was just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you had to do the sort of a famous thing we have to do as actors where everybody's really pretty much gone.
Yes.
You're filming yours to an X or an individual, invisible person. And at one point I'm like, just follow me as I'm walking through the eye line there. So you had to do a lot of sense memory and pull up the remembrances of what you'd watched, but you'd been there and you'd seen it all. And you traveled in with your entire family during the ice storm as well.
Yes, we did. We did. As you guys know, I mean, you guys already know, but my wife did all the cakes and stuff, so she was able to be a part of production for that. And then my kiddos were there, and thank you, makeup department, for helping babysit. But yes, it was a family affair, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. So yeah.
Well, you're just awesome, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, with every single actor, whether it's Patrick or Richard or Buddy or CJ, they're all stars now and are going to be even bigger stars. So keep your eyes peeled. Any other following last remark about experience or what people are in how they're enjoying it when they're watching it? Because they're getting to learn a little bit of history at the same time and I don't know anyone who's tried to do this in 90 seconds.
Right. Yes. I would say overall, a lot of the people that also I know, they enjoyed the BTS as well. They enjoyed getting a lot of behind the scenes. I want to do a shout out real quick. Thomas Paine, JD, he killed it. So you were probably one of my favorites. So yeah,
we're gonna get to our Thomas Paine, our fabulous Thomas Paine. All right, well, yeah, the behind the scenes. Veronica, we hired Veronica to do a lot of our behind the scenes, and she'll be in the end credits when we put it up, the 24-minute version up on Thursday. But she did a good job of interviewing everybody. So it was fun. It was fun to see the behind the scenes and why you wanted to do that character, why I wanted to have that character, and why I cast all of you, and what your favorite moment was. It brings it all to life. So all these things are on social media. All right, thanks, CJ.
Thank you.
I want to catch up. Okay. All right. So next, ladies and gentlemen, is Will Dobson, our
Hello
George
there.
Washington. I'm going to do a little bio. We'll watch your minute. And then Will Dobson is a Texas-based actor who frequently brings American historical figures to life, including George Washington in The Pursuit. And when he's not acting, he's playing ice hockey with his fellow disabled U.S. service members. Let's watch our just brilliant George Washington, Will Dobson, everybody.
Washington.
Discipline is the soul of an army.
George Washington. Wow.
2026. Is this live feed working?
There might be a tiny delay.
Yeah, I mean, it's over 250 years ago in the past.
Your usual, sir?
Always. At ease, gentlemen. Adults, go quiet. That's not in your nature.
We've been contemplating revolution. By golly, we are going to declare independence.
And we are going to need a general.
It should be you, Washington.
It has to be proposed to Congress first.
I will be certain to do so, of course.
I am honored to be considered for our glorious cause. However, I do not think myself equal to the command.
Trust me, you are equal to the command. We must all think together, or surely we shall all hang separate.
Give me liberty or give me death. Would anyone like to read my pamphlet? What is the subject matter? Common sense.
Oh, all of you are so amazing. Will Dobson, everyone who played our just elegant and brave and regal George Washington. I'm telling you a little bit about Will. I already told you. I read his bio. Okay, so Will, where are you?
I'm right here. Hello.
There you are. Now, are you a podcaster? Look at that studio there.
I'm just a dabbler in all things media. I grow as I go.
Looks impressive. You've even got like a speaker phone on the back. I mean, okay, I want to be on your show, whatever it is.
You're welcome, always.
Happy July 4th, 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence. You are just the perfect George Washington. Talk to us about your experience.
Oh, that was such a fun time. Of course, a great call out at the end of episode 5 when JD comes in after the most elegant and responsible moral compass walks into the room. He takes off his hat and just drops it casually to the side. Just hilarious. I love that. It was a lot of fun getting, of course, chosen for this role. Washington really needed to bring quite a bit of, an embodiment of leadership and gravitas and a moral authority. And so a lot of what I was challenged to do was, just very much what you kind of described, be tall and elegant and imposing and soft-spoken, yet that steely voice. And I'm going to, put your quote on my IMDb page, of course, because I have to point to my wife and go, look, I'm elegant. Janine told me so. So it was wonderful. I had a great time with it. And I just got done reading so many of the biographies for Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and John Adams, and just having all that kind of fresh in my mind, coming into the set and seeing these characters all come to life was just amazing.
And you had a humility too. We tried to, and with every founding father, they had their moment in 90 seconds. And first of all, I really wanted everyone to be in awe. So the music comes in with you and then it stops and there's no music. It's totally silent. We may tweak that a little in the 24-minute version, but it's completely silent while you walk up because nobody knows what to do. It's like, look at George Washington. And you said, at ease, gentlemen, because I think Washington on one hand wanted to command. He was an actor in sorts. He wanted to command that respect, but then he had that humility, which of course was genuine at the same time. He could have been a king. He could have taken over the United States when he won. He could have done anything. And that line where you talk about where George Washington says, "Oh, I'm thank you for this honor. I don't really feel I'm up to the task." That humility, and you had a lot of complexity in your performance. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it was how do you command? Coming from military background, George Washington did, and as myself, as a former U.S. Army veteran, knowing there's a chain of command and knowing when you must be strong and resolute, and yet knowing inside that you aren't the answer for every possible solution. And so, I guess faking it till you make it maybe was, maybe something he had to deal with for a long time in his life. And I think that in that part where everyone's saying, "Oh, it must be you," I tried to, as I was saying, as George Washington was saying, well, I may not be worthy. You might have noticed this little slump to my shoulders and the head tipped just a little bit, like internally he's conflicted. How can I be everything to everyone? And when they say, "Oh no, it's you," and then that little head tip back up. Okay, we're back in command. We're going to portray some strength, and we're going to lead this through and finish the task.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because what a daunting responsibility to take on the most powerful army and navy in military force in the world, which was Britain at the time, or United Kingdom, whatever they called themselves at the time. But we forget about that. We win and we're like, oh, but no, lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. That was a really big part of it, because I can't imagine the huge undertaking it would have been to say, I'm going to take a ragtag group of militia who don't even have matching uniforms, and we're going to go against the. I mean, really, just in closing here, just to ponder upon that responsibility.
Absolutely, it's mind-boggling how he did it. And as you go through watching a lot of things that are on History Channel right now because of the semi-sesquicentennial, it's a lot of delving into the failures that he had in his early time, as they didn't make their time constraints that they were forced upon them. The budget wasn't there coming in from the Continental Congress, and people were being allowed to go home because they had met their requirements, and yet he still had to somehow make this work. So it didn't happen easily. I know we in history kind of lift him up in this place of honor, and much of it is deserved, but it wasn't easy for him, and I wouldn't want to be there.
Right. Well, and all the forces that were against him, even internally, and Valley Forge, and he had to fake that they had muskets and military, weapons when they actually didn't. I encourage everyone to read Ron Chernow's George Washington, because it's truly amazing. Well, I know you've played George Washington before. I know you will do it again. And thank you for your service in the Army.
Thank you so much.
I'm not sure I knew that. And if I did, I'm sorry I didn't say that. But thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you are an officer and a gentleman. Look at you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
elegant.
All right. Well, there you go. And elegant. Absolutely.
Elegant.
Thank you, Will. Take care. Good to see you. Okay, next is our Thomas Paine. And when we cast him, there was just a little bit of machismo and a little wildness about JD. And I thought, yes, that's perfect, because I think that that Thomas Paine wasn't sort of that polished elegance that the rest of the founding fathers were. He was a real rebel. So let's watch Thomas Paine's Minute. And if you can't see it clearly, please go to our social media or YouTube.
Would anyone like to read my pamphlet?
What is the subject matter?
Common sense.
Who is this?
Thomas Paine?
Right. The book, Common Sense.
It revved up the revolution. Get a close-up of that pamphlet.
You're asking the impossible.
We're back in the 1770s.
We have it in our power to begin the world over again. Mary, my usual.
And what is the theme of your pamphlet?
Reconciliation with Britain is impossible. The last cord is now broken. It is our destiny to become a free and independent nation, a republic.
We are Virginians, Pennsylvanians, New Yorkers, no more. I am not a Virginian, but an American.
Here, Patrick Henry. I am not a New Englander, but an American.
Though an American I may become, I will always be a Virginian.
Here's to common sense.
Gentlemen, remember the ladies.
Abigail Adams, Spider Love.
Okay, JD Leach, you're the most amazing Thomas Paine, walking in all strutting in and dropping your hat. Well, have I read your
Yeah.
bio yet? I'm not sure I did. I'm kind of let me. JD Leach has spent 30 years in oil and gas before reinventing himself as an actor, producer, and published author. And somewhere along the way, rode a lawnmower across Texas, raising over $85,000 for charity. Well, we knew you were tough, and now we know. Hi,
Yeah,
hi,
that's
JD.
true. That's so true. That's just one of my things I lead with. I rode a lawnmower across Texas. You can Google it.
Wow, wow. From where to where?
From Wascom all the way over to Midland. I would love to get into the backstory of that, but we'll leave
Well,
that.
we'll focus on this for today.
Yeah,
We'll talk about betraying this rebel, Thomas Paine. And I love what you say in it, by the way. When I wrote it, it was really important to make sure that we had those highlights of, it's time. We can't go back again. Those days are over. We are a republic. And then also get in the fact that a lot of the founding fathers were starting to think more of a national scale and in a state scale. But talk about playing the role, how you embody it.
So Thomas Paine is considered one of the forgotten founders, and up until this, I had forgot all about Thomas Paine. I had no idea who he was. So whenever I got the role, I had to research who he was. And right before the audition, I'm sitting there reading about Thomas Paine, and he was this kind of quirky, crazy guy that he sparked it. He really, he was the voice that motivated the military, right? He was. What I didn't know is that each month or however many times that he did it, but he was writing essays that were labeled the American Crisis, and his leading kind of how he led off with that was these are times that try men's souls, and that still rings true today. I mean, we're always in some kind of chaotic turmoil within the government and what we're doing, and so they're trying times. And that was the memo that stuck with him and what everybody used to build motivation to go and face the redcoats. So he was a cool character. Unfortunately, he didn't quite live out the rest of his life as cool as I'd liked him to be, but I hope I brought him a little bit of justice. So.
You did. You had that sort of rugged demeanor and yet a humility at the same time. There was an intensity to your audition, but you can also see that he's moved by something inside his soul. You really kind of captured both of those elements. And when you walk in, talk about the choice to walk in and drop your hat.
The hat rack you had by the door was already full. And the first time I walked in, I tried to hang it and the whole thing fell. So there was no way I was going to, so elegantly put that hat on that rack. So I was like, all right, it was just kind of one of those quick choices. Like, I'm Thomas Paine. I don't care. We're coming in to make a statement. I got something more important to say than what I'm going to do with my hat. And
I've got 90 seconds to say it.
I only got 90 seconds to do it. So we got to do it.
That was a great choice because it was a strong choice. I mean, when you made it, you went with it all the way.
Yeah.
What about reactions from friends and family historically, your performance, whatnot?
So as you know, I don't have that much hair. Like Blake Nolan pulls it off great. He's got the locks. I do not. So wearing the wig and shaving my beard, that was a hard adjustment for me. But everybody else, they've never seen me like that. Probably last time I looked like that, I was 16. So that was cool, and people brought that up quite a bit. But they loved it too. So I got a lot of good responses from it, and just how different it was.
And as I said, it's gone viral. Kathy knows the exact numbers. It's millions and millions and millions. So lots and lots of people have seen it, and you're helping bring it to life. All of you, to all ages, all walks of life, to learn a little snippet of history. And then, as I said, we'll have the compilation for a short film on Thursday. But it was really important for Kathy and I when he believed in a republic too.
Yeah.
So we made sure we said that because a lot of people think we're a democracy, which we have democratic aspects, but our government is a republic. Just say the Pledge of Allegiance, Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the Republic, So
Yeah.
he was, and in closing here, we'll just talk about the common sense. And the music I picked when you walk in was from Aaron Copland, Ode to the Common Man, right? Do-do-do, do-do-do,
Yeah.
do-do-do. So, but common sense was really for the common man. He wrote it in such a way that everybody could understand it. It wasn't, because when you read Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, they were very, very beautifully verbose writers. But Thomas Paine wrote it in a real simple manner. So talk to us lastly about reaching the common man. Hundreds and thousands were printed. It really, really did spark the revolution.
Yeah. So, I mean, underneath it all, that's who Thomas Paine was. He really came from nothing. He was on the same level with the common man. He was passionate though, and that's what separated him, is because he had this fire inside of him where he was wanting to make a difference, and he wasn't as educated as the others, but he knew he had to get his word out, and he didn't know of any other way to do it but to write about it in his way, in his tone. And so he did it, and he was extraordinary at it. And for this particular reason, for the revolution, it was what started the whole thing. It's what got everybody behind him, because they were reading it from somebody on their same level. It wasn't somebody from, a government office that's saying, we must do this. And, let's say he was on the ground.
Inspired. He was inspired. Yeah. Well, he was inspired and you were inspired. And I've got to make sure I get to all the rest of the cast members here. I hope no one has to. We're going to get this wrapped up. Stay with us a little extra time today because everybody is so fascinating. Thank you, JD. You're awesome. You rocked it. Rocked it. Okay, next is Alexis Streppel, who plays our fabulous Abigail Adams. She's an actress and a producer who has a passion for bringing stories to life and is fascinated by the stories that shaped who we are. And she has quite the resume. They all do. They're being modest today when just talking about history. Let's watch Alexis's Abigail Adams.
Gentlemen! Remember the lady.
Abigail Adams, by love.
Named for her. Abigail, Abby.
For over 250 years ago, we picked a rockin' place.
Are you eating potato chips?
Abigail, what a pleasant surprise to reveal the pleasure.
Well, things are rising to a boil. Passions are high. Lexington and Concord have the red coats on their heels.
And we are going to declare independence. I have our offer in Jefferson and our General Washington.
Fine choices, fine men. These are the times in which a genius would wish to live. It is not in the still calm of life or the repose of Pacific Station in which great characters are formed. The habits of a vigorous mind are formed in contending with difficulties.
If only that incorrigible Congress would cede to reason. No gains without pains.
But if attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation.
There are a time to love and a time to hate, a time of peace and a time of war.
We always get that little tease for the next one. Alexis Streppel, what a brilliant and wonderful Abigail Adams. You just walked in and commanded the room as she would have. Those mainly are her words. Talk to us about this experience and your little familial history.
Yes. So this was a wonderful project to participate in. But I did find out last summer that I am the great granddaughter of Abigail Adams. So that was really, really fun. And, at the time, my sibling and we talked about how it was John Adams, and we didn't really talk about Abigail Adams. And so this project was really awesome to be able to do research on her, dig into who she was, and bring her to life. One of the most interesting things I found out about her is that she wanted John to completely burn all the letters between them. But without those, we wouldn't have known that the reason why she was called Mrs. President by their haters, and the fact that she, really loved America and loved the idea of freedom and was all gung-ho for it. So
It's the most amazing story that you're related to Abigail Adams. And when we cast you, we had no idea that you were, and you even look like her. Just aspects, more chiseled, beautiful. She was beautiful, but you're beautiful, beautiful. But you can see it. You can the eyes and the hair. It's just really. And she was the forefront of standing up for women's rights. Talk about the women's movement. I mean, who was before her or after her? I mean, lots
Yeah.
after her, but she was the first.
Yeah, again, it's crazy that she wanted him to get rid of all these letters because without them, we wouldn't know that she was really standing up for women's rights. She was a very strong feminist. She believed in equality, both for slaves and women and all men. She truly believed in what the Constitution stood for. And she was described as having like a sharp tongue. She was brash, she was bold. But she was able to balance that with empathy. And so in her letters to John, she mentions, you cannot forget the women. We are all about you keep talking about politics and politics. You don't think we're a part of that? Like, we create life. I have to buy groceries, I have to do this. And so I think she was just a very, very important voice for women of that time.
And willing to speak words that no one else was willing to speak, because I think when she said it, I mean, John Adams was just sort of, and Brian Brigham plays it really well. When you're giving that speech and you cut to him, you can kind of see his consternation. It's like, what is she saying? I can't believe, because we played it that you said it in a tavern, but he's like, what is she saying? And in the letters, he's like, what? He was just sort of flabbergasted. You're kidding. What? No one even really thought about it, but the Declaration of Independence certainly brought that forward, that life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, we're all created equal by our endowed by these inalienable rights by God, no one can take them away, and that meant everybody. And that was really, and your command of the room and the way you strut in. You want to talk about that? I had gone to see The Devil Wears Prada too. Sometime we're talking about it today, but there was that Lady Gaga music at the end. I was like, I think she needs to strut into some modern day music.
I love the choice that you chose. I love the music that you chose for my intro. Yeah, again, Abigail Adams, she really did command the room. And all of the founding fathers, whether they loved her or hated her, they all respected her, which is really cool. They respected, she was also a Christian woman, and she just was a ride or die, the original ride or die for her husband. And I really wanted to portray that in my entrance too. The fact that even if she was not well liked or well received, she was respected. So,
and you certainly made sure she walked in the room like that. And
thank you.
That performance and the little wink with, and as I said, that's mainly this particular script are mainly quotes from what she said. Contending with difficulties, great minds are formed with contending with difficulties. It's beautiful, beautiful what she says. And Tom, in closing here, John Adams, when they're talking about John Quincy, like, oh, what a marvelous job you've done, with John Quincy, he goes, oh, he had a mother too. And
Yes.
part of that was what she was writing to her son, what you were reciting.
Yeah, she again on the freedom train, she really felt strongly for her kids to also be able to experience that freedom. And I read some other letters from her saying that she was a little disappointed in her kids, but she was happy that they're happy, part of that empathetic side of her, which I really liked. But yeah, John Quincy Adams, that was originally who we found out we were related to, and then obviously, it relates to John Adams last summer.
So much fun. That's so much fun. Yeah, she got mad at John Quincy for not writing her. He went off for a long time. He's like, hello, where are my letters?
Yes, I love it. I love that they treated these letters were like text messages. It's kind of cool to see them through a 2026 lens where we can kind of translate them into, what it would be today. That's exactly what a good mother would do.
And imagine how different it would have been if they had had text messages. It might have been completely different, the whole scenario. I'm kind of glad we didn't have it back then. But, well, you have, I encourage everyone to check IMDb, check all of your great credits. I know you have as every single one of you are brilliant as your characters and have a brilliant now, and you have a brilliant future ahead of you, all of you. And that includes you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janine. It was such a pleasure working with you. You are such an icon.
Oh, thank you. It was great. We're going to do it again. Season 2. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So next, ladies and gentlemen, is Lee Pena. Lee Pena plays Pastor Muhlenberg. He is a Texas-based actor, a physical therapist, and most importantly, husband and father living and practicing in Aledo, Texas. They all gave us their bios, but they all have fabulous acting careers as well. Let's watch Lee Pena as Pastor Muhlenberg.
time to love, and a time to hate. A time of peace. And now, gentlemen, is a time for war!
Amazing. I go shower in there.
Hop in the travel portal and join us.
Yeah, over 250 years.
Yeah. At my sermon today, I recruited over 100 men to our cause. Well done, Wes. Hear, hear.
We will pay dearly for liberty.
'Tis true.
We must strive for selfless civic duty.
Over personal ambition.
Virtue is bold. Goodness is never fearful.
Shakespeare. Most impressive.
Duty calls, my friends, for now I bid thee farewell. Blessings of liberty, and may God be with all of us.
Now, let me eat cake. Deserted in my old age by my only son.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Pena, all I can say is you were so fabulous in this. I just want more to see a longer version of you in this project. I'm like, it's too short. And I went in and tried to really milk it, with the looks between the two of us and making a different sort of music because, but I guess leave them wanting more is a good thing. Hello, Lee. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Janine. It's great to see you again. Thanks for having me on this project. It's been a true blessing and an honor.
Oh, it was a blessing and honor for us. I mean, just to walk in and finagle how to hold on to the Bible. You had to figure out how to hold on to the Bible and then get that jacket off, or your reverend coat off and all of that. You want to just talk about that experience first off?
Yeah, harder than it looks. We had to figure out how to, I guess, eloquently put the Bible down and rip the robes off and kind of keep it close to the chest. But I'd actually played Pastor Mullenberg before, and that is a recurring issue. Getting the robes off effectively in a quick, like Superman manner, is a little bit harder than you would think. But I hope it hit right, and I hope it was surprising for people who don't know who Pastor Mullenberg is.
Yeah, you were wonderful. You had that once again. We had, the intellectuals, and then we had the soldiers, and then we had you represented the reverend aspect, the Christ aspect of it, as the religious aspect of it as well. But then you are going to fight, so you have to carry a lot of different colors, which you did beautifully. The machismo and the humility and the faith and the passion. That's they don't always see those two things combine. I don't know how many. I know there were some, but not often did you have reverends or priests or pastors, that were out there fighting in the field. And talk about, as an actor, trying to pull all that together.
Yeah, pretty challenging. So Pastor Mullenberg was part of the Black Robe Regiment, but he had a military background. So he was used to commanding and leading, and then took that skill set into the church, and led a church, and led a Congress or a congressional. And, so bringing a bit of that thespian mentality and approach, because he's used to performing in front of his people, and trying to inspire them and motivate them when it was really a very difficult decision to make at that time. Should we really rebel against the crown? This could be the end of our country. It could be the end of our lives. And when he felt called by God to do that, and inspired his people to go with him and lead them into the battle. So bringing sort of that leadership, commanding, and that thespian approach to the role was kind of a challenge to blend those things.
Yes, because, and the Declaration of Independence really helped with this. One of the reasons John Adams wanted it, because it gave everybody, it solidified the mission. It solidified the colonies with each other. It solidified the purpose. And here is this document that talks about we're born with our rights. Government doesn't give them to them. We're created equal by our Creator. These principles would certainly fit in with a belief in God, didn't they? Yeah.
It's funny. I likened it. I was thinking about this last night. I likened it to creating a production like this, a film or a vertical series. It's like it's like John Adams was kind of your director, and Thomas Paine was kind of like your cinematographer, right? And all of these other people had to come together and pull their weight and do just the right job to make this happen and bring something to fruition. And here we are 250 years later, and it's like every team member of this revolution came together and did it just right and made it happen, you know?
And then they're recreating it in this ethereal tavern where everybody walks in, kind of a dream come true. That's really true. How is the experience? How is everybody related to when they see it on social media and see you in this role? I know perhaps they'd seen it before, but I don't know if they saw it in this kind of way as a vertical series. Have you been getting some fun reactions?
You know, I show my family and my friends, and they're kind of like, "Oh, that's cool, 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 cool. Hey, is that so? You were with Janine Turner? What's that like? Was that that's really cool." So yeah, I kind of get it's that's been the main focus of it, and it was amazing. It was amazing watching you work, and kudos to you for pulling this whole thing off and balancing all the hats that you do, and still hitting all those technical aspects that an actor has to hit while directing and writing and focusing on the flow of the production.
Well, thank you. That's fun. It was teamwork. Kathy had a big part of pulling it together, and then as a producer, executive producer, and cinematographers, costume designers, hair, makeup design, actors, casting, and writers. It's definitely a team. But yeah, it is wild to be in it and trying to watch it. And we had such limited time. But you have a great career ahead of you as well. What an amazing performance and great Pastor Mullenberg. Now we need to see you do. We'll have to either bring you all back as the same character or maybe a different character next time for our season 2 and season 3.
To be part of it, I'd be honored to be included.
Well, we'd love to have you back, and thank you for your mesmerizing performance and your soulful performance when you and I had that look with each other. I'll tell you a fun little note there. Originally, the music was a little happier, and John Adams says, "What is it?" He says, "A lot of people will pay dearly for this." He was smiling a little bit, and I thought, "Wait, that this isn't a happy thing." And I don't think he was trying to portray it happily, but he just kind of, sometimes when you're nervous, you kind of put a little smile. So I said, "Change the music. Let's let the music be very intense and very dramatic." And when we did that, it changed everything. So that now when he says, "We will pay dearly for this," and then of course Abigail says, "'Tis true," and then you give me that soulful look. That the music always can have such a important. It can just revolutionize. Speaking of which, the whole feel of a scene. But terrific. I mean, I guess you're sort of like Judi Dench, who won the Academy Award for 2 minutes, right? You walked in won 60 seconds and stole the show as well.
Oh, well, it's amazing. I've never been compared to Judi Dench, but that is also an honor and a privilege. So thank you. Thank you for that.
First time. Well, Shakespeare in Love, right? She was on screen for 2 seconds.
It's amazing.
So you can steal the show, steal the scene. All right. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Okay, next we saw him walk in the door. Well, no, we didn't. Who walked in on Lee? Who? Oh, William Franklin, but he can't be here. Please watch William Franklin online. It's so, looky there. There's your headshot. It's so much fun to see William Franklin, but since he's not here, when William Franklin he stays, but the next person that comes in is, ladies and gentlemen, Alexander Hamilton. And Blake Nolan beautifully portrays Alexander Hamilton with a very poignant performance. He's an Atlanta-based actor, but born a Texan and a lover of the Constitution. Let's watch his episode right now.
There's certain enthusiasm and liberty that makes human nature rise above itself.
Alexander Hamilton.
We are in the room where it's happening.
We are in the air when it's happening.
Over 250 years ago. I'm so jealous right now.
Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton. This is Thomas Paine, Benjamin Franklin, William Franklin, Mr. Patrick Henry, Miss Abigail Adams.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Honored to meet all of you, my renowned fellow patriots. Your captain and Hartsburg militia said yes.
What brings you here? To meet all of you, the towering oaks of liberty, and to join Washington as his aide-de-camp. Well done.
We are much geniuses.
The only genius I know anything about is hard work.
You are all without your senses to think you can defeat the world's most powerful army and navy.
the British. There is nothing that can stop our revolution. As for me, I'm not throwing away my shot.
That has a musical ring to it.
We all have a calling, and it is our duty to rise up to it.
There he goes again. So musical.
We appeal to heaven for the justice of our cause.
Cousin Samuel Adams.
Blake Nolan, everybody, our fantastic Alexander Hamilton, who walked in and had such depth. Welcome, Blake. We're thrilled to have you here. Terrific performance, just like everyone else. All of you were terrific performance. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on, Janine.
Yeah, and you had to act with that feather coming out of your hat.
I did. It was a fun feather, though. I really enjoyed it.
We're trying to get that uniform just right, just because you were in the Oaks. You're in the Oaks militia. And I love that line about the towering oaks, to meet the towering oaks of liberty. And by the way, that's what I call Kathy, who's our CEO of the foundation. I say she's the towering oak. But what a beautiful performance. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, look at this actor. He and all of them in this show are going to be even more famous, and just you're going to see them everywhere in the future because you're just incredibly talented. I loved your performance, Blake, because it was poignant. It was poignant and earnest and honest. A lot of times people think of Hamilton as being, a showboat, but you played it in a very different manner, which I liked. It's like you kind of draw us into that quiet intellectualism. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I felt the due diligence to dive deep on Hamilton because he's such a big piece of pop culture right now. But he's actually more than that. So he wrote 51 of the Federalist Papers, which inform the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. And he just lived his life on this no-fail mission. The odds were stacked against him, and after reading, kind of going in depth, that's where I found the character was through his writings.
I love that. What did you say? He was all in. What did you just say? He was what?
He just had this no-fail mission.
No fail
odds
mission.
Were stacked against him in every way possible.
Mm-hmm.
He had no safety net his whole life, and he just went through his life and he attacked it, and he didn't take no for an answer from anything.
Yeah, and your lines, nothing can stop our revolution. Nothing's going to stop it. And I came here to meet you, and I'm here to be the Washington's aide de camp. And then we had all that fun. And by the way, I love that you did all the research, because I talk about his mother in my book, Holding Her Head High, and his mother died next to him in bed from malaria or cholera or whatever it was, and then he was an orphan basically, and then moved in with an uncle. He really had a lot of trauma in his life that he had to overcome. So, but you carried that inner strength as well. And then the ode to Hamilton there, you did it so well. You played it completely straight. The rise, and the room, we're in the room where it's happening. And I'm just going to rise up and meet it and give it my best shot. And then there he goes again. So musical, but you just played it as you should have, with complete, straight, earnest, and didn't even, I liked it. I liked what you did a lot. I loved it because you just kept that straight face and everything was happening around you, because he wouldn't have known the difference. He didn't know.
Thank you. It was an incredible time, and it was great to be with this whole cast. I mean, there was so many talented people in the room, including yourself, Janine. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. What is your talk about your favorite memory? Do you have a favorite memory of people's reactions to seeing you and you're playing this iconic figure?
So I came in a little earlier than everyone for my fitting, and Trent DiGiulio and I actually got kind of snowed in together for a moment, and I got to be on set and just walk around and see everything and kind of dive into the environment. And it was really good prep to be in there with him. And then I've gotten an incredible amount of compliments on my costume. Everyone's like, someone texted me yesterday and was like, dude, that's a good look on you. So I think I'm actually going to buy one of those coats.
You should, and play many more period pieces in your future for you. Jay Lynn did an awesome job with the costumes, and we really worked to make sure that I said no one can be in red. The only person that can be in red is the traitor, the red coat, William Franklin. He can be in red, but nobody else can be in red. And then to try to make sure that everybody's uniforms were a little bit different, because everybody's uniforms were different, and you were in the Oaks militia. But well, yeah, you carry it well, and the hat and your stature. It was a wonderful performance. Really, really terrific. Thank you for gracing us with your talents.
Thank you.
Yeah, look at this face, everybody, just like everybody else's. I can't wait to hear about your work and your future work.
I actually got cast in something because of this. So someone reached out to me and was like, "Hey," well, and it was a period piece. So we just shot it, and so yeah. So this
Well,
is
that
actually
we love hearing
helping
that
out.
story. Tell us a little bit. So they saw you, and tell us a little bit about that very quickly.
Yeah, so some girl just saw it and she was like, "Hey, I want you to audition for the lead of this thing," and it worked out. I just shot up in New Hampshire. It's a kind of another a good American story, period piece.
Oh, good for you. Yay. I'm thrilled to hear it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another wonderful talented actor that has a beautiful future. Thank you, Blake, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Cessa Rodriguez. We're so thrilled she's with us today. She's an American actress born in Texas and a deep passion for history and storytelling, and she portrays Molly Pitcher. Let's watch her.
Quickly, I need a pitcher of water.
Did she just come in from the battlefield?
A revolutionary hero.
Historic.
Over 250 years ago. Historic.
Are you in well?
I'm battle weary. Your skirt, it's tattered. It could have been worse.
What happened?
Oh, just a cannonball.
A cannonball?
Yes, right through my skirt. I was bringing water to the soldiers when my husband was wounded. I took over his cannon.
You are the epitome of give me liberty or give me death.
Did we win the battle?
John! Yes, we did. We won.
A toast to... What is your name?
Mary Lubbock Hayes, but they call me Molly Pitcher.
Here's to Molly Pitcher. Here.
Hooray.
Our cause is the cause of all mankind.
Give me a beat. As it goes, please.
Bonjour, mes amis.
Cessa, you are such
Hi.
an amazing Molly Pitcher. Look at
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome to the show. Look at
Thank you. It's wonderful to see everybody again.
It's so fun to see you in your modern hair and your modern
Yeah.
makeup and
Yeah.
what we have to do to go play. My mother kept saying I look like a Quaker every time she saw me, Like, you look like a Quaker. I'm like, well, okay, maybe it was. Who's
Thanks,
to
Mom.
say?
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful job you did as well. You all have such bright futures, and to play such an iconic woman. I love it too. So many of the women are coming off the battlefield.
Yes.
Which we're going to talk to one other actress. Don't really want to give it away, but you and Sybil Luddington comes in from
Yes.
riding the horse, and so talk to us. And we had the kind of all of you got this kind of rock music bringing you in because
Yeah.
So tell us about your experience.
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was great getting to know. I feel like the message that we were telling is important. And so it's fantastic being a part of something like that. Because I mean, Mary, she took charge of a battlefield that was dominated by men in a time where women were meant to stay quiet and be proper ladies. And these women would go, they would carry pitchers, they would go in a line of fire and bring water to the soldiers and cool down the cannons, which is already huge. But then also, so her stepping up when no one else would and not accepting defeat was very empowering. And it just shows that anyone can be a hero. And I love that message.
And
So
that the cannonball went through her skirt.
it went through her skirt and she just kept going. And because they were originally going to wave the white flag, but she said no. And they won because she kept going.
See, and the bravery. I think that all of us, we were so far removed for it. We forget that she didn't know that she wasn't that cannonball. You know what I mean? She didn't know she wasn't going to
Right.
get killed any minute. But then we go back to that, sacrificing their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. Everyone was really willing to do that, and
Exactly.
so they won the battle too. Looky
They
there,
did. Which
yeah,
is huge.
yeah. Which
But-
we have in the show. It's like she went into John Adams, like yes,
Yeah, I loved that. It was
And
such a fun experience.
And you are like all of our actors, very dedicated to your craft. It was cold outside, but I know
Oh,
you were running
yeah.
around back and forth. And I thought we were going to wear you out because sometimes you have to pause to structure a camera or something. You're out there running back like I would do. That's what I did in Cliffhanger and everything.
Yeah.
Running around, and so you came in out of breath.
It was really fun though. I mean, it was cold outside, so it kept me from sweating too bad, which was nice. Got to play in the snow a little bit, and then I would come running in out of breath. And I remember at one point, one of the takes, I was really dizzy because I was like, I think I need to breathe for a second. But it was a lot of fun.
I remember that. I remember seeing your eyes, and you sort of started to like go away from us. I'm like, wait, are you okay?
I started to slip at one point, and because I come running in and I slipped, and I really appreciate the crew just immediately put down a carpet so that I didn't tip over.
No, we don't want you to fall. We don't want you to fall. No,
I really appreciated that. Everyone's so caring on set. So,
and have you had good reactions to playing Molly Pitcher and people seeing you in costume and this great heroine?
Yeah, I know someone who was like, "Oh my gosh, Molly Pitcher," and I'm like, "You know who that is?" It was really exciting, and everyone's been so supportive and reaching out to me, and they've been commenting and asking about it, and even my sister called me and was nice to me on the phone, and I was like, "This is great." So I appreciated that. I was like, "This is different." Yeah. So it's been a fantastic reaction, and I love it.
Oh, well, you just brought such life to her and did it and such small amounts. I mean, 90 seconds. 90 seconds. And yours was a little shorter. I think Pastor Mullenberg's and Sybil Ludington's and yours were a little bit shorter. That wasn't even quite 90 seconds. So to be able to run in and have command of the room the way you did, and that breathlessness and the heroism and the bravery. And yet you also, I was talking about when I was working with you, you had this kind of beautiful China doll, sort of delicate features. And yet there you were out there with the cannon.
Yeah, I think we were talking about Juliette Binoche. We were
Juliette
discussing
Binoche.
Yes, and I've been watching her work. I absolutely love her. So
you remind me of her. That's right. Did you know about her before?
I had seen some of her work. I looked her up afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, I know her." Yeah. But I've been able to get to like kind of binge her movies, and so I have a huge new appreciation for her. She's fantastic.
Well, she's a wonderful actress, as are you. I named my daughter after Juliette Binoche. I love Juliette Binoche so much. So I watched a lot of her work at the time. Well, congratulations, all of you, each and every one of your fellow actors in this project, and you are going to have even brighter careers in the future. I can't wait to see all the work that you do. And thanks for gracing us.
Thanks you so much, Janine.
We'll work on season 2 and season 3. Everyone's got to come back.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, two more fabulous actors, everybody. Ian Wilson is next, who played Lafayette. We have to have Lafayette, the Marquis de Lafayette. And Ian Wilson is an actor and filmmaker based out of West Virginia, pushing to make feature films. I can relate to that. So let's watch Ian Wilson portray the Marquis de Lafayette.
Liberty, as a country. Lafayette, you're back.
Bonjour, Miss
Ali, the user all my slaves.
It is the Marquis de Lafayette.
I can't believe it.
Who is he?
He was a French nobleman
who came to fight for her cause.
We were delighted to see you.
Tis a pride and joy of my heart to be an adopted son
Of America.
I am on my way to see General Washington, but I must confer with Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, you're catching me just in time. I'm returning to France.
And I need big. I have to learn the meeting with the French foreign minister.
He is an ally.
Stupendous work, my friend.
I adopted for the General Washington spirit to be lifted by this news. Oui?
Indeed. It will turn the tide of this war.
Hey.
What's he saying?
He's saying that your wife is very beautiful.
I take my leave from you now with love in my heart.
Give us liberty or give us death.
Bonne chance, patriots!
Ian Wilson, I remember your audition, how you just lit up the stage, because Marquis de Lafayette, he's our he's our, showman. He's from France. He has all this kind of sensuality and this accent. And when we watched your audition, we're like, oh, yes, 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 yes. So welcome to the show, Ian. Great work as usual. All of you, great work, and you're great work.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here.
There you are without your French accent.
Yeah.
Talk to us about learning your French accent.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I actually kind of learned part of it on set. I delved a little bit into it like before I think before the audition process. Like I grew up in a house where my dad was just like always doing impressions and accents all the time just for fun. And I kind of picked up on some of it. We watched Shrek, and so he was always doing a Scottish accent sometimes. But I don't know, I just listening and looking into things, I just picked up on some things, kind of understood like kind of had an ear for how things sounded. But I did while I was on set a few days before even filming. I was just listening to like how people like pronounce certain things in French, like how people string their sentences together, like the little isms they have, and just learning how much the French hate to pronounce their R's. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was it was fun and it seemed to work for your vision. So it was a fun process.
Yes, well, you strut in with such charm and you were debonair, and you had a twinkle, a real twinkle, a real humor. And when we put all these together, it's gonna be fun for all of us to see all of them strung together. They really have a great sort of ebb and flow, and you just bring in the joy, real joy to the room. What was it like to play the Marquis de Lafayette, who is such a hero, and it was responsible for helping us bring France. Yeah, it was one of the reasons we wanted this to be, or wanted your character to be it, because it talks about we didn't really win the war alone. We did have the help from France, the money from France, and Benjamin Franklin had to go over there, and it was a big, it's like anything, you got to have the money to make it happen. Talk to us about your character and the joy and his
Yeah, it was
importance.
definitely fun. It was fun kind of like getting that gusto and that bravado kind of kicked in. Honestly, when I put on that uniform and just stepped on set, it's like it changes like how you move around and how you act. You just like you feel different. You you move differently. It's like you're more your stature is all different. So it was kind of interesting how that just like sort of happened. But yeah, I wish I would have taken more time to learn way more about Lafayette. But when I saw your casting call, um, I did know who Lafayette was. I remember back in I think elementary school or grade school, like one middle school, I think it was watching Liberty Kids and seeing the episode with Lafayette and seeing how he helped the troops, they whipped them into shape, helped take care of their living conditions. Was a huge admirer of General Washington. Um, I think once he said that, I came to learn from you. I came to learn from you. That's how like well known George Washington was. But yeah, it was very fun to step into this role.
and you had to wear the, well, first of all, I remember that we worked on your costume because I really wanted it to be just right, and so Jalen and I really worked to find the right cut and the buttons and the epaulets and everything, and then you had to wear a wig. Not everybody did. We sort of did the Mel Gibson Patriot type of look.
Yeah.
Not but I thought, oh no, he's French, he would have gone all out and had the, how was it
Yeah.
wearing the powdered wig with the curls?
Oh, at first it was kind of interesting. It was kind of funny too. The pictures look nice. An hour in, I was okay. 2 hours in, I was okay. It was fun. 10 hours come, starts to feel a little bit weird. 12 hours in, this thing's kind of pinching my head now.
Right. Well, that's so true.
Yeah.
So true. And to think that they got on their horses and fought wars in them. I mean, it's kind of
Oh yeah.
crazy. The elegance and whatnot. Well, you portrayed him just beautifully. You brought such joy and liveliness and passion and depth and strength. All those elements pulled into one. And you're just a terrific actor, just as our cast is.
Appreciate
But
that.
yeah, wonderful actor. I can't wait to see your future as well. And in closing, anybody commenting, say how it must be fun for all your friends to see you in this costume and your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity because like I know like beforehand 5 people who were on this set, and so it was like I'm showing up to work with my friends. This is awesome.
Yeah, well, we loved having you on the show. Thank you so much for portraying our Marquis de Lafayette with such panache. I don't even I don't even know if that's a French word or not, but it just came to me.
Thank you,
Thank
Janine.
you. Wonderful work. Appreciate you so much. It's great to bring the history of Marquis de Lafayette and the French and what they did. Okay, last but not least, everybody, and thanks for hanging in there. Jessica Packard plays, and we changed it. We put both names. I thought, no, it's Robert Shirtliff. We're putting that first. She portrayed Robert Shirtliff, who then you'll see what happens in the second part of her story. She is an actor, storyteller, and lover of the perfectly imperfect journey life gives us. I like that. Perfectly imperfect journey life gives us. Jessica, thanks for waiting. We are now going to show everybody your mesmerizing performance here.
How may I help you, young man?
Coffee. Please.
How long have you been serving, Prize?
17 months.
What is your name?
Robert Shirtliff, you're injured.
There's a bullet in your thigh.
Do not take me to the infirmary.
But there's a bullet in your thigh.
I will dig it out myself. Where is a knife?
Not because prefer none of that.
No, I don't need to take me to the infirmary. Please don't.
I will be discovered and punished.
A woman in the field.
A modern day Joan of Arc.
She's my hero.
You are my hero.
And why can't I fight for my country too?
You are, and you have. It's not immortal, but you have time.
His Excellency George Washington.
Jessica Packard, oh my gosh, you played a female heroine who in real life was a woman who disguised herself as a man for quite a few months. Or she says at the beginning was 17 months and fought in the war. Yeah, you did such a great job bringing that haunt and the duality. Welcome. Thank you.
Yes. Like everyone's been saying, it was an amazing project to be a part of. And her story gives me goosebumps. She served nearly 2 years in the Army as a woman and hiding that fact. So it wasn't until she caught a fever and was unconscious in the hospital that they discovered that she was a woman. So, and she was only 21 at the time. So it's amazing what she went through and what she was able to do at that time, so.
It really is stunning to think about it. Being in the rooms with all the men and, just never being discovered and fighting and the bravery. Why can't I fight for my country too?
Yes. Yeah.
She is in a way was a forerunner like Abigail Adams in her own way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Abigail was fighting for it sort of in a statutory way, and you were fighting for it on the field. But both of you wanted the same thing for women to be included.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was great. And yeah, putting on the costume and being on set. There's always a magical moment the first time you walk on and you see the cameras and everybody. And there had been scenes being filmed before I showed up. So when I walked on set, everybody was already there. And to see the costumes and it was just, it's a magical time. And I really enjoyed it.
Isn't it fun to be in a tavern where everyone is there? Talk about a hip place. Everybody happened to be in this tavern, and so many of the actors that are here today stayed. They were all the characters, the real life founding fathers and founding mothers. They were in through the whole 17 episodes, so it was kind of fun. But you came in toward the end. You had your performance really drew me in when I watched your audition, and also this performance too, with that haunt that you had because you were injured, but you didn't want anybody to know. There was a lot of duality, a lot of different colors going on in your head. And as an actor, talk about how you brought that, because you brought the performance to life so richly and beautifully. Talk about how did you got there?
Well, yeah, thank you. There's a whole process, and I feel like just keeping in mind the circumstances of what's happening, where she's at, what she's trying to accomplish while being injured, there was a lot of layer to it. And so I kind of just tried to tap into the reality, having that pain and what that might feel like. Tapping into experiences where I've been in severe pain like that and having to kind of push through that, but also, just be fine around everybody that was there. And so I tried to tap into that. And then also, just, yeah, I don't know. I'm not explaining it well, but it was a whole process.
Well, I know it's often hard to talk about how we find those elements, but yours was also tricky because she doesn't want to be discovered when they have to look at the injury and this and that. So you're like, no, don't take me to the infirmary. So you had to start grabbing for utensils or off the bar, and then you couldn't touch the bar because the bar in actual life could have fallen. So then we had to get you back over there to that table, and then the hat had to come off to reveal the hair. So you had a lot of logistics happening.
Yeah, a lot of planning. And everyone who was involved with that, being pulled back to the table, we all worked together. And there was even a little injury that we had with the sword on my hip with one of the other actors, Carter. He handled that well. But I just feel like the whole the scene and the teamwork that went into that was amazing. I feel like it definitely wouldn't have been as compelling without everybody's hard work and teamwork in that. So
the way you had to be dragged back, and as an actor you had to have sort of a faith and look back, that table was kind of wobbly and have to get on the table, and it was a lot to do, and then to have to work about all those logistics but still keep the emotional quality of life of what she was really going through. And so you just brought those layers to fruition in a mesmerizingly haunting way. So bravo to you. Have you had any reactions? Because we try to teach history, and a lot of people don't know about Deborah.
That I was about to say, I've gotten a lot of, I don't know who Deborah Sampson is. I'm like, well, you have to look her up because she's amazing. And she went through a lot. And so, it's been kind of fun to just expose her story a little more. And then I've been able to work on some projects since, I worked with JD on a passion project since meeting him on the set of this, and so it's just fun, the community that has come into this project.
Yes, and we're going to have a reunion. Everybody comes back to the tavern so we can do it again.
Yeah.
Won't that be fun? Well, it was wonderful to be able to teach about not just the founding fathers, but the founding mothers and the different kind of dichotomies of how the women contributed. And this story is truly remarkable, and you are remarkable. And as I say before, look at them, ladies and gentlemen. These are stars now, but they're future bright stars. You're going to see them everywhere. So thanks for blessing us with your wonderful
Thank you.
Yeah, it was so terrific. Well, we really went over, but we had to do it. The towering oak is probably having a meltdown somewhere. But Kathy, I can't even see your face. Let's see. There she is.
I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's been great. The audience has hung in there. Everybody loved it. So thank you so much to everybody. What a great show.
Oh, yeah. Round of applause for all of our fabulous actors, everybody. And to the legacies of the founding mothers and fathers, of which for whom they portrayed, they're real life heroes and heroines. And so does anybody have anything to say in closing, or Tova, Mary have a question? I mean, we've gone this long, we might as well see if there's anything else. Anyone? Mary, Tova, any questions? A general question because we.
I personally loved everything. I think the main question I saw in the chat, people were asking about favorite founding mothers and fathers.
Probably the ones they played, but they're asking their favorite founding father. Okay, so we can go through the list really quickly. Let's start in order. Is Carter still with us? Carter leave? Okay, Carter favorite?
I usually, and not just because I played him, but Thomas Jefferson and Patrick Henry have been two of my favorites for their ideologies. Obviously, there's a lot of people involved in the founding who were very aligned, but people did butt heads here and there, and they were two of my favorites for that reason. But also mention Caesar Rodney because he has it's another case of just a single act it wasn't just a snap of his fingers. It was a major ordeal, but a relatively small thing that makes this major impact in the grand
Mhm.
picture. And there's a lot of that in the whole story of everything.
He was sick. Yeah. Okay. So real quick answers. Did we lose Richard, or is he still with us? Is Richard there?
Richard had to go.
Okay. So who was next? It would be Benjamin Franklin. Buddy, favorite.
Outside of Benjamin Franklin, I got to go with George Washington. He was just such a pillar of stability. He is not only a Hall of Famer as president, but also as a general. He won the Revolution for us, and then he was even offered King of America, and he turned that down because of his humility. And he just brought the country from the battlefield and brought the government together. And he was my favorite founding father.
Okay, I'm gonna go in line of how I see people. Okay, Sessa, I see you next. Go ahead.
Hi, I'd say probably Sybil Ludington is one that she really sticks with me. Because I knew about her before even auditioning for any of these things. And so I love her. She was so young and so passionate and brave, and she made the distance. So definitely.
Ellie couldn't be with us today playing Sybil Ludington, but we have her. Yeah, she rode twice as far as Paul Revere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a teenager. Oh, that's really wonderful. Blake.
After playing Hamilton, it's got to be Hamilton, but also his wife, Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton. If you do a lot of research, she was there in his corner the whole time, and she made a lot of decisions and helped inform a lot of his writings. So she was a big player as well.
Oh, really cool. Jessica, have you given an answer yet? I don't.
No, besides Deborah Sampson, I would have to go with Abigail Adams, because I just feel like she was, kind of like the behind the scenes. She did a lot of behind the scenes type work, and she kind of was like the driving force, I feel like, in support with everything going on. So she was my favorite.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Will Dobson.
John and Abigail Adams, the wonderful power couple, and the family they raised and all that.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. As well as Washington, of course. Right. Yeah. Okay, Alexis.
I would say, honestly, the Adams family, including Samuel Adams, who makes really good beer. And he's a big businessman.
And he was right out there too. He was there for the Tea Party. He was a big part of the Tea Party and getting everybody riled up, so to speak, in a positive manner. Okay, JD.
Yeah, I'll say George Washington. I'll just stick with George Washington.
Yeah, the indispensable man, right?
The indispensable man.
Okay, CJ.
I was gonna say George Washington as well, but I'll just throw in one of my favorite quotes that he had said. If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. So just his heart for freedom and patriotism is just powerful.
Oh, thank you, CJ. And his love of, yes, exactly. Okay, Lee.
I'm probably Alexander Hamilton, mainly because of the musical, and also solidified by Blake's performance.
Oh, there you go. That
Everybody did a great job. Lots of great individual performances.
Yes, I hear. I agree with that. Yeah, Blake had a wonderful, quiet strength. Anybody else? Did I get everybody? Did I leave anybody out? All right. And Mary, who was yours?
Oh, George Washington, but I think he's pretty popular. So I appreciate you all. It was so fun seeing all your episodes come out, and you all were amazing. I had to give a shout out to Alexis because you're just my favorite founding mother. So I also really appreciate your episode, and you're lovely and beautiful in person as well. So thank you all. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Terrific performances, everybody. Okay, Tova, do you have one general question for maybe one person can answer?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, this was really, really fascinating. I loved every second of it. And I'm just curious, I think it's so cool that we have this amazing production in honor of the 250th. And it's crazy to think how soon that is. I remember when the 250th in 2026 was so many years away, and now it's, this upcoming weekend. So I'm just curious if anybody has any fun or meaningful plans to celebrate that commemoration, whether in your own families or your own capacity.
Okay, whoever raises their hand first gets to go first, like a game show. Anybody have fun plans? Okay, Sessa.
Hello, I get to go see my family, and my friends' parents are they're out from Florida, so I get to go visit them as well, and I'm really excited.
Oh, yay, yay. Okay, Blake, you had your hand up too.
I'm headed to South Florida to enjoy.
Oh, nice. Well, that'll be nice. Well, I'm going to watch all the amazing things on television with my mother, who's not almost 90. I'm going to pick her up and we'll just and Kathy, who's on the commission for America 250. Tova, I believe you and I walked into a room, 7 years ago, and they were already planning it. So, Kathy, you must know of, other than watching our minutes and, and then watching the short film when it's all put together. Y'all watch it. I can't wait for you to see it. We're tweaking it still. It's going to be even tweaked and better. So other than watching our short film, The Pursuit, Kathy, you must know of a zillion things that are happening.
Oh, there's a lot going on. July 2nd, I'm going to be at Independence Hall for a congressional gathering at Independence Hall. We're having 8 ball drops at Times Square, one for each time zone in the United States and its territories. We got a big benefit concert out in LA with Chris Stapleton, Queen Latifah, and Smashing Pumpkins and lots of other great singers. It all benefits Feed America. We're launching an initiative called America Gives and Giving Forth, where we encourage everyone to give to their favorite charity on July 4th. And on July 4th itself, we're going to be burying a time capsule in front of Independence Hall that actually some of our Constituting America, We the Future contest winners put messages into that time capsule. So that's really cool. It'll be opened in 250 years on the 500th birthday of our country. And then, of course, in Washington, D.C., Freedom 250, President Trump and the White House's initiative has an amazing gathered in Washington, D.C., in our nation's capital, with the biggest and brightest and best fireworks that you will ever see in your entire life. So it's going to be a wonderful celebration all across our country.
Well, Kathy, we thank you for all you've done for years to help bring this to life, Kathy. You truly are the towering oak. So you are a wonderful mother of our country as well.
Well, it's a team effort. So.
Well, it is. That's true. But I want to know when the ball drops, because if I'm sitting there watching with my mother, is that at midnight on the 3rd?
Midnight on the 3rd for the East Coast, but it will drop at, I believe, 10 a.m. on July 3rd for Guam. And then the next ball drop will be 11:59 p.m. for the East Coast, and then pretty much all night, because 1 a.m. for Texas, 2 a.m. for Mountain.
Eastern. So everybody just looks midnight their own time.
Yeah, midnight their own time. Watch it. And even 7 a.m. Eastern on July 4th for American Samoa.
Wow. Okay. Well, and they've got the state fair going on in the mall.
Yeah, the state fair is awesome. Fun. And some of our Constituting America, We the Future contest winners are performing at the state fair on July 2nd, I believe at around 2:00 or so. We've got about 3 or 4 of our best song winners who are going to perform on a big, large main stage there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome. All right. Well, listen, everybody's been on for a very long time. You're all just have beautiful hearts and beautiful souls and beautiful faces and beautiful performances. And thank you so much for gracing us again with your performances. Thank you. All the best. See you soon. Thank you, everybody.
We love
Watch
you.
our short film on Tuesday. Love y'all.